Hey Assel, how are you today?
I'm
Wel-
good, Jen. How are you?
Welcome to our podcast. The topic today is what do you do if your sales cycle is super long? And we face that with a few of our clients who engage in lead generation, and we can be booking interested leads, but if it takes their prospects 6 or 12 months to close into business, like it can become very frustrating
Yeah.
and can feel like nothing's working. So, what advice would you give to companies that face a really long sales cycle?
A very interesting topic, Jen, and I think it's an ongoing issue for a lot of industries, especially in 2025. Like you said, for some of our clients, we are facing the same challenge. We are getting the leads, but nothing is closing for them. So I think the first question, if I were in their place, the first question that will keep me awake, I think, would be how do I stay in this you know, in this business, and how do I keep my buyers engaged, and more importantly, how to keep myself motivated after certain period of time, because you start to lose the motivation, and so does your team. So it can be really frustrating at times, but before we get into the conclusion where I just say, oh, just stay patient, I think the best method would be to have an overall analysis of what's going on and why this is happening. So there are a lot of industries where naturally the sales cycle is very long, right? So you just have to analyze your industry accordingly, whether it's happening it's very normal for your industry or not. And if it is very normal for your industry, then I think it won't be a question for you to, lose the motivation or patience. But if it is happening kind of on an unusual basis where normally you never thought or you never experienced a long sales cycle, then I think there are a lot of different factors that you can look into. Could be the global geopolitics, could be the economical situation, or maybe the market is moving. Especially in every podcast, somehow we talk about AI, but it's a factor. Maybe the market is transitioning into AI, or there is something coming new, and you just have to maybe look into that and change your change not entirely change your product or service, but you will have to reposition yourself accordingly in order to catch up. So these are the factors that come into my mind. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a difference between doing lead generation and just getting everybody saying no, 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 I'm not interested, I'm not interested, versus people being interested and taking a while to close. So I think in the first case, if you're getting no interest, silence, or lots of no's, then you really do need to reevaluate if you have product fit, like if your market
Yeah.
actually wants what you're trying to offer them. If people show genuine interest but take a while to close, this is when you just need a plan, because we always like to talk about like a pipeline. Someone says, yes, I'm interested. There's a maturity process to them turning into a client, a bit like, it takes 9 months for a baby to gestate, and then be born.
Yeah.
Sometimes an elephant baby takes like almost 2 years to get
Yeah.
born. So sometimes the bigger the contract, the longer it takes. And just really having a process to manage that. It's both in your mindset, like handling the stress of that not happening or no income coming, but also systems, right?
Yeah.
So systems like a CRM to be able to track everything, or a process to visualize the different projects that could close and how much money they're worth. And then when were you in touch with them last? And what questions were they asking? And do they need more information? Things like that. So I guess it comes down to filling your pipeline and then having an ability to mature that to the point of like it giving birth, so to speak. And we always recommend a newsletter, plenty of content, case studies, frequently asked questions, FAQs that address people's
Yeah.
concerns, and lots of value in your pipeline to continue to keep that deal alive until it can close. Because the people on the other end, they need to talk to other decision makers, they need to get budget approval, they need the timeline to line up, they need internal
Yeah.
decision makers. And this is why it can take so long, as well as everyone agreeing on exactly the contract size, exactly the price, and things like that. But once it closes, then it's obviously worth a lot of money to you, it's worth a lot of value to them, and probably a long-term relationship. And so it's really worthwhile. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I have a question. So like I said, there are a lot of industries where it's very natural to have a long sales cycles. And I think the people who are involved in such industries, they are aware and they have a very different mindset. But supposedly, if it is someone who might not be aware of it, they assume that, oh, because for most of their business years, they had been closing business via referrals, but now they are getting into lead generation, and the reality is slightly different, where they are getting industry leads, but they are not closing business, and they are again not realizing that okay, the sales cycle is long. So,
Yeah.
so what to do in that part? Like as an agency, how do you tackle that?
Yeah, it's a really good point. And I think exactly what you say around business coming inbound is very different to business won by outbound.
Yeah.
So, because someone who comes inbound or referral or word of mouth or someone who searches you already has a problem, probably already has a budget, and probably and is looking for a solution fairly
Yeah,
quickly. And so that business, even if it's big business, can happen quite quickly.
exactly.
Whereas in most of the cases, when you start to do outbound, you can talk to people who are decision makers and have probably a need, but the time is not right for them. It might take them 6 months to get to the place, or sometimes longer to get to the place where the timing is right for them. And while they're interested in you and they want to consider you as a business option, you just have to continue to be there until they're ready. And so you're right, the mindset needs to shift if you
Yeah,
start to do outbound to understand that that process will be slower, but it doesn't mean it's not successful. It just means the time horizons shift a bit. And while, of course, we'd all love to have fully inbound, fully referred, fully hot business all the time, it's limited, right? You can't control when someone's going to refer to you. Outbound is something you can control because you can always do more outbound. You can always send more emails, more LinkedIn messages. And as long as you roughly know your numbers, for example, for 1,000 emails, I'm going to have, 20 calls. And
yeah,
for 20 calls, I'm going to have 5 proposals. And 5 proposals, I'm going to have one bit of business. Then you know your numbers and you know, okay, well, let's double it. Let's do 2,000 emails or 5,000 emails or 10,000 emails because I know roughly what kind of business I'll get back. And then I also can accommodate the time frame and I understand, like it becomes something you can control.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, again, it's just the mindset. I think like you just have to think of the time period as kind of like an investment. So
Yeah.
after first 6 months, now you'll have regular deal closing because in the last six
Yeah.
months you had been sending out proposal and whatnot. So yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
We'll
Zach.
see you in the next podcast.